Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm really excited about today's video because it was a request sent in by a subscriber of mine. So this is what they say. Please make a video on wrongly set up line of credit account as a bank account. From June 1st, I'm thinking to make it inactive and create a new line of credit account, but I'm not sure how to do it as it's connected to the bank. Please help. Okay, I am here to help. In case you guys are wondering, this is gotta be my favorite part of making videos is answering your questions. So if you have questions, please leave them in the comments. If you have video ideas, please leave them in the comments and please subscribe. So this is actually a super common QuickBooks Online mistake and probably a super common bookkeeping in general mistake, but don't worry, it's a pretty easy fix once you know how to do it. So I'm going to walk you through why this is a problem and exactly how to set it up the right way in QuickBooks Online. Then when we're done, I'm actually going to show you also how to use that line of credit account. Okay, so here's what usually happens when you set up a line of credit account incorrectly. You might select bank as the account type because your line of credit looks like it's connected to your bank, right? But in QuickBooks, a line of credit is actually a liability because it's something that you owe, right? If you take money out of your line of credit, you owe it back. It's kind of like a credit card. If you use money on your credit card to buy materials or supplies, you have to pay that back. So that's a liability account. Same goes for a loan. If you get a loan from somebody, that is set up as a liability account in QuickBooks Online. So the line of credit is set up the same way as a liability account. So let me show you what this looks like. We are in Craig's Design and Landscaping Service sample company. So if we go to our bank transactions and we hover over the screen, go to chart of accounts, this is where we'll see all the different accounts set up in our QuickBooks Online file. You're going to have all your bank accounts first, followed by your asset accounts, and then your liability accounts. So if you have your line of credit set up as a bank account, it is going to show up as one of these bank accounts when we really want it to be showing up down here under liabilities. So let's fix this. The first thing we're going to do is to make that account inactive. So in this sample company here, I don't actually have a line of credit account set up as a bank account. Let's just pretend this savings account is the line of credit account. What we would do is click on this drop down arrow in the correct row and make inactive. But please note that if you already have transactions under this account, you're probably going to need to reassign them before you inactivate the account. Before we do anything like that, we're going to fast forward a little bit and create the correct line of credit account. So I'm going to X out of this. We are going to make sure we're at the top of the chart of accounts screen, and then we can go ahead and click new account up here in the top right. For the account type, we're going to make sure that is set up as a liability. And then for the detail type, we're going to want to make sure to select line of credit. And then let's name the account line of credit and then the bank name after that. So for example, line of credit Chase Bank or whatever the institution is. So that brings us to the opening balance. So let's say the total that you are allowed to take out on your line of credit is $10,000, but we haven't used any of the line of credit yet. We're just creating the account for it. We're going to leave the balance as zero, right? Because we don't owe anything yet. We haven't taken any money from our line of credit yet. So we owe $0. So I do want to mention that even if your line of credit was set up the wrong way, like as an asset instead of a liability, you might have 100 transactions spanning back the length of a year, but you don't necessarily need to fix all of them. You really just need to move the ones that affect your current balance. For example, if you've been drawing and paying back on your line of credit for a year, but as of August 1st of this year, the balance was zero, and then you took a $500 draw on August 2nd of this year, that $500 transaction is really the only one that you need to reassign to the new liability line of credit account. No need to touch the older stuff if it nets out to zero. So only reassign the transactions that are affecting your current balance. Okay, so I hope that all makes sense. If that doesn't make sense, please reach out with questions. So we'll go ahead and save and close this account. And then under our liabilities is our line of credit account here with a $0 balance. Okay, now that your line of credit account is set up correctly, let me show you how to use it. Oh, one more thing that I think think is also worth mentioning here is that when you set up your line of credit account this way as a liability, it is not going to show up here as a tile along with your credit cards and your bank accounts as a linked account, okay? What will happen is when you draw money from the line of credit, that draw is going to presumably go into your checking account where it will sync through and show up here in your bank feed. So let's just say for the purposes of this video that we took a draw of $200 from our line of credit. So you can add this to your line of credit account a few different ways. You can either record it as a transfer and select the line of credit account. You could add a memo if you'd like, and then you would just hit add. The other way you can do this is to categorize the transaction. We'd use the vendor wherever the line of credit came from. In this case, I'm just calling it line of credit. The account we're booking this transaction against is going to be the line of credit liability account. And then we're going to go ahead and add that. So now, when we go back to our liability account under the chart of accounts, we are going to see that we have a balance of $200 in our line of credit register. So in this case, we increased our line of credit account by $200, meaning that we owe $200 on this account. So the same is true for making a payment to the line of credit account. That transaction will feed through into your checking account, and you'll book it the same way back to that line of credit account. When making a payment to the line of credit account, you can also go up and hit this new button in the top left-hand corner and select transfer. Select the checking account as the account to transfer the funds from, and the line of credit liability account as the account to transfer funds to. We are going to say that we're paying off the amount we took the draw for, which was $200, and we're going to save and close that. Now, when we go back and look at our line of credit account, we should see a balance of $0. This doesn't really take into consideration interest or fees that might be associated with your line of credit account. This video was really just showing the basics of how to set up that account. The really big issue with having this line of credit set up as a bank account rather than a liability account is that then QuickBooks thinks that it's an asset, and that can really throw off your balance sheet and your reports. Your liabilities will look too low and your cash will look too high. Okay, so that's it. No more confusing line of credit set up as bank account issues. Hopefully. If this video helped you, please give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions about anything, please leave those in the comments below. And make sure you subscribe for more QuickBooks tips that will make your life a little less stressful and hopefully make your bookkeeping a little less painful. We'll see you in the next video. Cheers.